What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nasher. Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get started with today's very interesting video, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close, and we are now on the road to 500 subs. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe we might hit 500 subs by the end of the summer. Only time will tell. But as I have said in previous videos, if this channel does get to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners over at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. By checking them out, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. On the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, a piece of Exodia, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed, the possibilities are out there. However, excuse me. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners over at Collector Store, on the hopes to potentially pull a collector's rare out of the set. Excuse me, much similar to what I pulled out of my Genesis Impact box that I opened up last year, which is this beautiful Beat Cop from the Underworld. This looks absolutely amazing as a collector's rare. But with that being said, if you guys want to see those boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos, or maybe, just maybe, you guys want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, because more than 85% of you guys are watching the content, but you guys are not even subscribed, and to top it all off, we gotta get more women to watch the content as well. So if you guys are watching the content, you like the content, and you want more of the content, but you guys have not subscribed as of yet, then make sure you guys do indeed subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all my social media. All my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which in a way it kind of ties with today's video, but the question of the day is this: who from TNA would you guys like to see get signed to NXT when their contracts expire? Let me know down in the comments below. And for today's video, it appears that the now excuse me. It appears that the current TNA Knockouts champion, Jordynne Grace, aka as she likes to call herself, Thick Mama Pump, has her contract with TNA set to expire really soon, which is actually next year in January, and it appears that she could be making her way to NXT full time. Among them, I believe, are actually a couple of other individuals that excuse me. I believe are set to expire pretty soon. Among them, I think are actually, there's actually quite a few people that are having their contracts being expired. Because I'm pretty sure Jordynne Grace is definitely one of them. So I think it's her. Excuse me. Steve Macklin, or I guess Steve Cutler, I think was his name. And I think also Joe Hendry. And also some guy named Mike Bailey, who's also in TNA, and also I believe they're the only ones, and I think Joe Hendry as well. Their contracts are set to expire relatively soon, but we don't really know for sure. However, it is interesting. It's interesting because this past year has been absolutely incredible. And what's even more crazy, excuse me, is that I believe in TNA, who is having their contracts expire? Okay, so Fightful actually reported exactly whose contracts will expire with from TNA. Funny enough, Eric Young, Fightful actually reported that Eric Young is working TNA without a contract, so he's working with TNA as a free agent. Rich Swann, PCO, Brian Myers, and AJ Francis, or I guess Top Dollar, their contracts are going to expire later on this year, where as opposed to Jordynne, and also Speedball Mike Bailey, I mentioned to him. Jordynne Grace, her contract will expire with TNA next year in January. Josh Alexander, February of next year. Killer Kelly in August of next year, so right around this time next year. And then Xia Brookside will be staying with TNA until 2026. And Moose apparently is the current TNA World Champion. He recently announced he actually announced that he has signed a 5-year deal with TNA and was gonna stay with TNA until June of 2028. So we actually do have quite a few people who could potentially make their way to NXT, and the top 3 that I could see making their way to NXT are Jordynne Grace, Josh Alexander, and Brian Myers, or Kurt Hawkins, I guess, if you will. I feel like their talents in NXT could do a lot of justice, because you look at exactly the talent that's in NXT right now. It is absolutely incredible. You've got guys like Gallows and Anderson, guys like Tony D'Angelo, guys like Ethan Page, the current NXT champion, Trick Williams, the former NXT champion. There's a lot of them. But some of these guys could also potentially make their way to the main roster. And crazy enough, if you look at exactly what excuse me, if you look at the contracts of WWE, as far as like whose contracts are expiring this year, or at least until at some point next year, you've got Berto, all three members of the New Day, um, let's see here, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, LA Knight, Miz, Dragon Lee, they all signed, their contracts are expiring later on this year. Some of them actually signed a brand new deal. Finn Balor is one of them. Both Rey Mysterio and his son Dom signed contracts until later in 2027 and 2028. Booker T signed a 5-year deal, and get this, The Undertaker has signed a 15-year deal with WWE, which dated back to 2019. So right now he has another 10 years. Actually, he has another 10 years with WWE, who had signed a Legends contract. But what's crazy is that you look back again, you look back on those from TNA. Honestly, I could totally see Jordynne Grace making her way to NXT as a full-time talent, because she is arguably one of the strongest women that we have right now in professional wrestling. And her talents could really be quite the interesting time, if you will, because excuse me, sorry about that, guys. Anyway, Jordynne Grace has had quite the interesting run with TNA. In fact, I believe she signed with TNA. I believe, if my memory serves correct, I think she signed with TNA. It's a number about what, 5 or 6 years ago, 7 years ago, or something like that. So for her to have competed in TNA for that long, having to become a 2-time, 3-time TNA Knockouts champion, a former Knockouts tag team champion, that right there speaks a lot of volume. And as far as the talent that she could be facing in NXT, I mean, come on. You've got Roxanne Perez, the current NXT Women's Champion, Thea Hale, Lola Vice, Fallon Henley, even also Kalani Jordan, the Women's North American Champion, or as a thought, Grace and Jordynne could team up to take on Alba Fire and Isla Dawn for the women's tag team titles, which even that would be pretty slick. But as far as like whether or not we'll see any of these guys in NXT, it's possible. Like, I can totally see Eric Young making his way back to NXT. Brian Myers, I could totally see it. Jordynne Grace even had mentioned on a podcast a while back, if I could be wrong though, but she stated that she would love to be a part of NXT as a full-time talent. AJ Francis is definitely one I could totally see. But some of them, I believe there have been rumors that they're looking to re-sign with TNA. I know that PCO is one of them. I think Rich Swann was looking to sign a new deal, according to Fightful's reports. But I will say, it really doesn't make much of a damn at this point, because you look at what she's done this year alone with WWE. She held her own against Roxanne Perez at Battleground just like almost 2 months ago. She competed in the women's in the women's Royal Rumble match earlier this year as a surprise entrant. Funny enough, and not only that, but Fightful even also reported saying that WWE actually had interest in signing Jordynne Grace, as well as a few others, which include Frankie Kazarian and Joe Hendry as well. So we could totally see them make their way to NXT as full-time talent, but only time will tell. But you know what? If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, and they re-sign with TNA, I think it'll still work out because with excuse me. But with WWE's partnership with TNA, we're still gonna end up seeing them in NXT at some point anyway. So I guess it really doesn't matter. But for them to become full-time talent, I think would be a-okay in our books. But with that being said, that'll do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more WWE topic videos in the future, then make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all my social media. All my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.